What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to Boo TV. Like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys for stopping in. And let's talk about the episode. Is Stephen Wardell Curry, Steph Curry, a top 10 player of all time? I don't even have to think about it. He does not crack my list of top 10. Not yet. I have currently Steph Curry floating somewhere between 11 and 15. But I do believe if Steph wins another championship and another Finals MVP, I will be willing to push him into the top 10. And I think he'll be somewhere between 6 and 10. I already know who I'm going to move out. I'm going to move out Wilt Chamberlain for Steph if he wins another one and gets in there. Or even if he just finishes his career off really strong. And he might, he might not get that other Finals MVP or might not get that other championship. But if he really finishes off his career strong with some more strong campaigns, I might even still consider pushing him into the top 10. With that being said, but as of right now, he's cracking it. He's close, but he's not quite there. And one reason is it's hard to make my top 10 list if you are below an average defender. You can make currently everybody in my top 10 is elite defensively for at least a prime of their careers or average, but it's hard for a sub-average, subpar defender, complete liability on defense for a large part of your career to be in my top 10. But Steph Curry has done enough in the game. He has done enough in his career. He has done enough for the NBA and has had enough moments where I can look at him being a very subpar defender, being a liability, Steve Kerr constantly having to hide that guy on defense. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it still happens from time to time. It's hard for him to stay in front of his man. But even with him being subpar defensive, and I look at everything he has done over the last couple years of his career, 3-time champion, and he finally got over the hump, being the undisputed best player on the team. And I don't take, people like to take championships away from people. They say, oh, this person's championships don't count because they had this person. That's complete bullshit. I'm not going to act like his championships are something less than what they are because Kevin Durant was on the team. Because Andre Iguodala got Finals MVP, which, with all due respect, I understand Steph Curry didn't blow that series up statistically and even by the eye test, but he was still the best player on that team, and he should have still got Finals MVP over Iggy Pop. Sorry, Iggy Pop. Great defense on LeBron, all that good stuff, but Steph Curry was still the best player on that team and best player on that team in that series. But we're going to talk about that. So, yeah, like I said, with another chip, definitely I'm going to move him in my top 10. Probably push Wilt Chamberlain out. But he is knocking on the door. And like I said, despite being a horrendous defender at some points of his career, for most of his career, he's done enough where you have to weigh it. You still have to weigh it and say, still, with that being said, he is still, on track to being a top 10 player. And some people already have him in his top 10. And I'm not going to argue with him. I'm not going to argue with you. I mean, I'm sure you have a solid argument, just like I feel like I have a solid argument. Right, it's all an opinion, and this is my opinion right now, but not right now. But I think he's definitely getting close. So currently, in no particular order, I'll do a ranking video some other time. Currently, my top 10 is Mike, Kobe, LeBron, Magic, Kareem, Bird, Shaq, Duncan, Bill Russell, and Wilt Chamberlain. No, that's not in order, but those are currently the players in my top 10, and not a single one of those players were a abysmal defender. They're all average, and some of them being elite. And some of them were elite very early on in their career. By Kobe's third year, I think. Let me see. Yeah, by Kobe's third year, he was already an elite defensive player. No, Mike didn't take long either. Some players take longer than others. But for the bulk of their career, for the prime, for their tender part of their career, they were elite defensively. But I do think Steph Curry, he's definitely knocking on the door. I got Curry right now is in the range with that what I said, that 11 to 16 range. He's probably up against Dwayne Wade, Kevin Durant, Oscar Robertson, Karl Malone, Allen Iverson, Hakeem Olajuwon. All right, obviously that's more. So I'm looking at like 11 to 20 with how many players I'm naming out. But you get the picture. I haven't actually organized it to see where each of those players lay. But Iverson doesn't really have the rings, even though his individual career absolutely amazing for somebody his size. He doesn't have the rings. Karl Malone doesn't have the rings. But right, it's probably more than anybody. It's a Kevin Durant thing. But he has 2 more rings than KD. But when they were on the same team together, Kevin Durant was pretty much the undisputed best player on that team. Curry said it. Kerr said it. Draymond, everybody acknowledged that. And I'm not one of these people. I'm not going to downplay. Everybody had somebody. And to be honest, who I think had the most impressive finals run, earning finals MVP, was Dirk Nowitzki. He was the sole star on that team. Not no superstar, not no all-star, not no megastar. He was the sole star on that team. And he beat the defending champions. He beat the Thunder with the best roster or best record in the league. They went through Lakers, Thunder. It was either Spurs or Clippers. I gotta take a look at it. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. And then ultimately took down the big three, the Heatles in Miami. He had the most impressive finals run with no super team. But we're not gonna talk about. I'm gonna do an episode about that. I'm gonna do an episode about Dirk's historic run because that was nuts. He don't get enough credit for that. But yeah, that's where I got Steph Curry currently, somewhere between 11 and 15. Probably honestly between 11 and 13. I can probably say 11, 12, 13. He's somewhere in there. But, if he continues this trajectory, I got to push him into the top 10. I do. And Steph Curry, another thing with Steph Curry is that he got off to a slow start in his career. A lot of these players in the top 10, they kind of came in gunning. Seemed very NBA ready when they came in. With the exception, the only one you could say, Kobe took 2 or 3 years, but Kobe wasn't getting minutes because at that time in the NBA, the coaches and teams did not prioritize young players like they do now. Now you're a young player coming into the league, you're getting a lot of minutes. You're getting a lot of minutes and you're getting showcased. Back then in the 90s, they didn't like that. It was hey, young fella, you sit down until you earn your wings through practice. And it didn't, and especially a 18-year-old, especially an 18-year-old, straight out of high school, that had a big chip on his shoulder, that had so much to prove. It didn't matter what he did outside of those first 2 years trying to get minutes. Because when Kobe did get minutes, when the limited minutes that Kobe got, he performed. And I know people are going to bring up the air balls in Utah. That's one moment in his rookie season. So I'm not about to clown the man for having the guts, having the balls, having the kahunas, and being completely fearless and try to carry his team. Or he wasn't the best player on the team, but in that moment, you know what I mean? But other than that, when Kobe got minutes, those little bit of minutes he got, he was a problem. And you can go look at the video footage those first 2 years. And he made the All-Star team his second year as a sophomore player. And he put on a show in Madison Square Garden. Was that Madison Square Garden? What's that? I think that was Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the Garden. The 98 All-Star game? I think. But anywho. Yeah, so, I would give him a pass. And I brought up Kobe to say this. I would give Steph a pass his early years if it was a situation where he was pretty good, but he was in a situation where the coach just wasn't giving him minutes, even though he had all the talent in the world. But that wasn't the case. All right. Look, Curry came in as a rookie getting 36 minutes a game. playing minutes like that. And it wasn't until his third year where he got injured. His third year, he only played 20-something games. And every year after that, he played the majority of the season, with the exception of the year where he broke his hand, 2019, I think. 2019, when he broke his hand. But outside of that broken hand season and his third season, Curry played the majority of the games. He didn't average 25 points per game or more until his 7th season in the league. All right, so Curry got off to a bit of a slow start, and I have to take that into consideration. When a lot of these guys were already like primetime players, either coming in or by their second or third year, they were already ready to go. Ready. Curry got off to a slow start. People don't like to mention that. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't until his 7th season, closer to the latter half of his first decade of his career. So I have to account for that. I have to account for that. He was playing. He was logging big minutes, but it took him a while to really blossom into the player that we know him to be today, the Chef. But still, even with him, with a slower start than a lot of these other players that we have in our top 10. He is still knocking on the door, and that says a lot about how great of a player Steph Curry is. How great of a player he is, and what he's done for the game, and what he's done for his franchise, and his ability and the ability to build, to put Chef in a system where you can constantly rotate pieces in and out, and they flourish with him. I think a lot has to be said about that. Very easy to play with. That has to be accounted for. So, hey, that's my opinion. Let me know where you have Chef Curry in your all-time rankings. Does Steph make your top 10 or does he not? Let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and catch you guys on the next one. We're going to do that Dirk episode, though. I really want to do that Dirk episode. But I catch you guys on the next one. We out, baby.